A very pleasant morning to class 8th. Welcome to English class. Today we will revise one more topic of English grammar, that is adjectives. In this chapter we will discuss about the adjectives and its types or kinds. I hope you will learn a lot about adjectives in this video. So let's get started. Now, what is an adjective? Adjectives are words that are used to describe what kind of nouns and pronouns and to quantify how much of and identify which one then. In a nutshell, adjectives are what define nouns and give them characteristics to differentiate them from other nouns. Now, types of adjectives. First type of adjective is adjectives of quality. These adjectives are used to describe the nature of a noun. They give an idea about the characteristics of the noun by answering the question, what kind? For example, honest. What kind of the person that is? Honest, kind, large, bulky, beautiful, ugly, etc. New Delhi is a large city with many historical monuments. Sheila is a beautiful woman. Next is adjectives of quantity. These adjectives help to show the amount or the approximate amount of the noun or pronoun. These adjectives do not provide exact numbers. I'm repeating, I'm just emphasize on the keyword exact numbers. Rather, they tell us the amount of the noun in relative or whole terms. For example, the words we usually use in this: all, half, many, few, little, no, enough, great, means these are not the exact amount. These words does not show the exact amount. For just look at sentence, they have finished most of the rice. Many people came to visit the fair. Next adjective is adjectives of number. On the contrary, these adjectives are used to show the number of nouns and their place in an order. There are three different sections within adjectives of number. They are definite numeral adjective, those which clearly denote an exact number of nouns or the order of the noun. Example 1, 2, 20, 33, etc. Also known as cardinals. First, second, third, seventh, etc. Also known as ordinals. Indefinite numeral adjective. Those adjectives that do not give an exact numerical amount but just give a general idea of the amount. Example, some, many, few, any, several, all, etc. There were many people present at the meeting. One of the example of the sentence. Distributive numeral adjective. Those adjectives that are used to refer to individual nouns within the whole amount. Example, either, neither, each, another, other, etc. Taxes have to be paid by every employed citizen. Every, on the whole we consider. Next, demonstrative adjectives. These adjectives are used to point out or indicate a particular noun or pronoun using the adjectives this, that, these and those. Example, that bag belongs to Neil. Try using this paintbrush in art class. I really like those shoes. These flowers are lovely. The plural of that is those and the plural of this is these. That and those are used to point out the things that is lying far from us, and the word this and these are used for the thing which is lying very near to us. Interrogative adjectives. These adjectives are used to ask questions about nouns or in relation to nouns. They are where, what, which and whose. Example, where did he say he was going? What assignment did I miss out on? Which is your favorite author? Whose pen is this? Comparison of adjectives. This is also the part of adjective. Without doing this part, we can't complete the topic adjective. So let's do it. When we want to compare two or more nouns using adjectives, we use the comparative and the superlative forms of the adjective to show the comparison between the nouns. Honey is sweet, sugar is sweeter, but victory is the sweetest. In this sentence, let's see what we see in this sentence. We are comparing the three nouns using the positive, comparative and superlative form of the word sweet. Sweet is the positive, sweeter is the comparative form and sweetest is the superlative form. Now positive form, these are the simple adjectives that simply describe the noun without comparing it to another, like big, sweet, clean, etc. Example, she has a big black dog, he is a sweet boy, the cupboard is clean. Now next is comparative form. These are used when we are comparing two nouns and need to show which noun possesses the adjective or character in a greater or lesser amount when compared with other, bigger, sweeter, cleaner, etc. Just see the examples. I have a big dog, but hers is bigger. He is sweeter than the other boys. The cupboard is cleaner than before. In these three sentences, we can see the comparison. So, this is comparative form. Next is superlative form. This form is used when three or more nouns are being compared and we need to show that one or more of the nouns possess the adjective or characteristics to the highest amount possible. We usually add the before the superlative form, biggest, sweetest, cleanest, etc. Example, she has the biggest dog in the colony. He is the sweetest boy in his class. The cupboard is the cleanest thing in the house. Now, how we can make comparative or superlatives? There are certain rules that must be followed in making of the comparatives and superlatives of the adjectives. Not all the adjectives form their comparatives and superlatives in the same way, and there are also some irregular adjectives that form completely different comparative and superlative forms. Single syllable words and double syllable words ending with y, er, ow, le. We use er to make the comparative and est to make the superlative. For example, black, blacker, blackest, fair, fairer, fairest, clever, cleverer, cleverest. When there is a silent e at the end of the positive form, we remove that and add er and est. See, nice. It ends with a e, that is silent. So nice, nicer, nicest, late, later, latest. When the adjective ends with a y, we convert the y into I before adding er and est. Pretty, prettier, prettiest, lazy, lazier, laziest. If the adjective is a small one with little stress on the vowel, we double the last consonant. Example, hot, hotter, hottest, wet, wetter, wettest. For words with the two or more syllables, for other double syllable words that do not end with y, er, ow, le, and for adjectives with more than two syllables, we use more and most to form the comparatives and superlatives. For example, difficult, more difficult, most difficult, careful, more careful, most careful, handsome, more handsome, most handsome, interesting, more interesting, most interesting. Special adjectives. There are a few adjectives that can use both er and est and more and most to form their comparative and superlative forms. See, we can make in both the forms. The distinction between these is that er and est are used when we are comparing the noun to another noun, and more and most is used when we are comparing characteristics within the noun. See the examples: clever, cleverer, cleverest, and more clever, most clever. We can see and we can compare the sentences with the help of example. He is cleverer than her. He is more clever than studios. Quite, quieter, quietest, more quiet or most quiet. This is the most quiet place. This is the quietest place. Brave, braver, bravest, or brave, more brave, most brave. She is braver than other girls. She was more brave than afraid. Sure, surer, surest. And other uses sure, more sure, most sure. He was surer of the result than others. You will be more sure about the concept after you read the chapter. Irregular comparisons. These adjectives do not make their comparative and superlative forms using the rules above. Their comparative and superlative forms are different words altogether. See the examples. Bad, worse, worst. There is no use of er or est or more or most. They are totally different. Bad, worse, worst. Good, better, best. Far, further, furthest. It is used for place and time. And far, when particularly we use far for the place, farther, farthest. Old for the people. When we use old for the people, its comparative form is elder and its superlative form is eldest. Little when we are talking about in amount, and less, least, late in order when we can say later, last. That's all for the adjectives. Now I will give you some worksheets or activity sheets regarding the adjectives. Along with this video, you have to solve those worksheets yourself and we will check later on. Thank you, class.